Everybody, and welcome back. Dave Blinder from eXp Realty. Today's video, I want to discuss 5 cons of moving to Denville, New Jersey. These are not concepts I hold to be true. They're things I read being discussed on Facebook and other internet forums as well. Con number one I've heard about moving to Denville is we're just too far away for New York City commuters. In Denville, we're just about 35 miles west as the crow flies from the George Washington Bridge. And anytime you have a lot of folks commuting to a major metropolitan area, there's bound to be some sort of traffic and congestion. Luckily, right in downtown Denville, we've got a great park and ride commuter lot for the Lakeland Route 46 bus. And on a typical workday, that bus can get you to Port Authority Bus Terminal in just around 50 minutes. Con number two I've heard about moving to Denville is that our residential roads here are too narrow. Much of our town was developed in the late 20s and 1930s as seasonal lake communities for New York City residents. So if you're moving to Denville from Texas or North or South Carolina, you may be used to broader roadways and larger subdevelopments as well. Con number three I hear being discussed is that houses in Denville are just too old. Well, as we discussed, much of the town was developed in the 1920s and 1930s. I love that Denville has retained some of that unique small town feel. And if you look at the south side of town, kind of on the opposite side of Route 10 for me, you'll find newer houses often built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s as well. Con number four I hear being discussed are the mandatory Denville lake fees. Well, if you live in a lake community like I do in Lake Arrowhead, or you're over by Cedar or Indian Lake, you will incur some sort of mandatory fee. I think that's a very small price to pay for living in such a scenic community. And the folks in these areas enjoy our friendly sport leagues like volleyball and darts, and a lot of many great other ways also to interact and get to know your neighbors. And we have plenty of parts of town where there are not mandatory lake fees as well. Con number five I often hear being discussed is Denville has way too many flood zones to be safe. Well, the truth is that our lake communities here are planned and engineered, so we do have the ability to lower the water levels when we need to. So there's not much of a flood hazard whatsoever around our lakes here in Denville. Now, downtown by the Rockaway River, you do have some flood zones, but there's a lot of value to that area as well, as those residents have easy walking access to the many great Denville restaurants and cafes that the town is so well known for. So I hope that addresses some of those major cons we hear being discussed about moving to Denville. If you have any real estate questions, just let me know. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.